Here is my custom Hello Kitty bubble tea bottle or cup, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So I got gifted this pack of 40 pieces of vinyl from HTV Run. I'll put a link in the description, and on the back it's got kind of all the instructions on how to do it, and there's even a support email address if you get stuck and you need any help. So that is perfect. So here I am just opening it. It comes with like a good variety of colours, so it's perfect for loads of different like projects at home. As you can see here, there's some pastel colours, some bright colours, oranges, yellows, blues, pretty much any colour you would probably need. And also it's really handy because there's I think 2 to 3 sheets of black and also 2 to 3 sheets of white. It might even be 3 or 4 of each, so it's really good for projects. So I opened up Design Space on my laptop, the Cricut one that is, because I'm going to be using my Cricut machine to do this, and I grabbed my image. You can do this step I'm doing right now either in Photoshop or in the Cricut Design Space. So I've got this picture of Hello Kitty and I'm making sure it's on the complex one, and I need to separate all the layers. So first of all, I'm getting rid of all of the colours other than black. So I'm removing all the white, the bow and the nose and things like that, saving it as a cut image and then just giving it a name. I've actually already done this step, so that's why I'm adding on the number 2 you might notice to all of these images that I'm doing. And then I went ahead and did the same again, this time removing everything other than the white. So this layer is going to be done in white vinyl, giving it a name, saving it, and then doing this for all elements of Hello Kitty's face. So here I've got the bow, I'm just making sure to erase everything. This is going to be pink, and then again erasing everything other than the nose. I'm going to use yellow vinyl, and lastly for the straw I did go over purple colour, similar to how I've got it on here, again saving it as a cut image. So once you have all your images ready to go, you can select them all and then put them into a project. So I have all of my separate layers in here. You don't have to do this part, but I kind of like move them around and put them together on like Hello Kitty's face in place where they need to be, but you don't have to do this part. I'm just being a bit extra here. And then once I did that, I can basically select them all and resize it. So just to double check the size I want, I use this like clothing tape measure, one of these fabric ones, so I can see how big I want her face to be on like my bottle. So obviously you don't want it too big that it wraps all the way around, you can't see it properly. So I think I went with around 8 centimeters or so. And you can also go into the settings and change your units of measurement. So I'm in the UK, we usually use centimeters. And then once you have all your objects highlighted, you can just change it. So I changed the width to about 8.5 centimeters, and make sure the padlock is on, and it will change the width and the height together, even if you just change the width or even if you just change the height. So I've zoomed in here, that's why it looks bigger. And then I started off by just doing the black vinyl of kind of the outline of Hello Kitty's face, and I'm using a mat. I've got it in the corner, so you can just go ahead and press continue. Then I grabbed my vinyl and my mat and I put this down. So this vinyl is really good. You don't need to mirror your image or anything. You just put it face up, and on the back there's a backing which covers kind of the sticky side of the vinyl. Then I was ready to put this into my Cricut machine, so I opened my machine and I loaded the mat in. Then I set this to Vinyl Plus and I pressed the Cricut button and it went ahead and cut this out. So I did Vinyl Plus because it is a bit of a thicker vinyl because of the backing as well, covering the sticky side. And then once it had finished cutting, I unloaded the mat, and you can kind of see in the like as the light comes on it here is Hello Kitty all cut out. Then I just went ahead and weeded this. I'm so sorry, but my head kind of got in the way of some of the weeding process, so I don't think I showed all of this, but I'm just using a craft knife, super simple, weeding out all those bits that I don't need. Now to keep this all in place, I'm using some transfer tape. So I went ahead and put the sticky side on to Hello Kitty's face, and then I peeled all of this off the mat, so including kind of the backing of the vinyl. So it's all on the tape. Then I just made sure to smooth this down really, really well. You do just have to be a bit careful with the tinier cuts. So for example, the little like boba on the cup, I needed to kind of press this down more onto the transfer tape, and this just is kind of usual for most vinyls just because it's such a tiny detail and it is sticky on the back, so it kind of does stick to like the original backing of the vinyl. I'm saying vinyl a lot, but yeah. So I kind of stuck that on to the transfer tape, holding all the tiny bits down like the eyes and the boba, and then just peeling off the backing of the original vinyl piece. And now it's on my transfer tape. I just stuck the backing onto that to keep it in place while I work on the rest of the design. So for the rest of it, I kind of separated everything, made sure that the outline of Hello Kitty's face was turned off as I don't need this anymore. And on this matte screen, this is where I arranged it. You can do it on the first screen and use the attach mode if you want to. I just find it easier. I can see it here on the mat where to place my kind of different colours. So you can see I've got my white, yellow, purple and pink, and I've put them all on like their own square in a way. And I've got her white face part on the, you know, very corner of the square. And again, I went ahead, loaded the mat in, had it on Vinyl Plus, and set the Cricut off to cut everything out. And that was all done, and you can kind of see the cutouts here again and like the light reflection there. And again, I went ahead and just weeded everything. So it's super simple. For big bits, you can just literally use your hands, and then for smaller bits, you want to use a weeding tool or craft knife or similar just to get out all the unwanted parts. And you can just discard these or keep them for something else if you really want. And then the next thing to do is to kind of put this together like a puzzle almost, taking all the colours where they need to sit and then putting them on to your transfer tape. So I've put the bow, just being careful as I'm peeling it off, making sure it's all nicely stuck onto the transfer tape and then taking off the backing. And I went through the whole of the kind of cutouts, nose, eyes, etc. And then finally the white for her face and hands, and then just peeling off that backing. Now at this point you can put the kind of backing for the transfer tape onto it if you want to use it later, but as I was ready I didn't bother. I'm going to go straight in and put this on to my bubble tea cup. So I made sure to put the center on first and just really smooth this down, and then I worked my way out to the edges, and then on the other side again worked my way out to the edge to make sure there's no air bubbles. And just make sure to give it a nice firm press down, and then once you're happy, you can go ahead and peel back the top of the transfer tape. And this is so satisfying. I absolutely love this part. Nicely peel that back. And this is so good. I'm super happy with how this looks. It looks so cute. Then just as like a final touch, I wanted to add on some like bubbles. So I went ahead and cut out some circles. There's a shape maker in the Cricut design space. You can go ahead and like use that, super simple. And then I just cut out some bubbles in the black, and I use a transfer tape to put it on. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.